Hello, users, fellow video game players, and welcome to the Rock Block number 5, featuring Mega Man X5. And previously I said that I would probably play any percent for this, but I changed my mind. I'm going to do all stages, except I'm also going to make it a little bit more interesting, and I'm going to do all stages extreme difficulty, something I haven't played in a hot minute. And this will also be divided into 2 parts, like Mega Man X4, just because. So, you'll start watching it today, and you'll finish watching it tomorrow, and that's just going to be how it goes. Yeah. X5 is actually the very first Mega Man X game that I had played extensively. I played X1 first, and then I wanted to get whatever the newest one was, and that was X5. So then I played X5 a lot, and then I was really hyped to play X6, but I'll tell that story later. There's a training stage. I'm gonna do it just for fun. Okay, so this is the training stage. Yes, it's real. So the same thing with X4, you have to mash the fuck out of all the buttons in order to skip the text. And if anyone is familiar with X5 to any extent, they understand how annoying the text boxes are. Very apparent so far just in this stage here. Whoops. Like, it would be cool if I could have just jumped out of there and then hit the rope, but that didn't happen. Spikes! Alright. So I wonder who the boss is gonna be. I don't know if they tell you there, but... So one thing about Mega Man X5 is it's the sequel to Mega Man X4. It's like the Mega Man X2 of the PlayStation generation. One thing that I think is really cool is how you have Magma Dragoon just there, just chilling, just hanging out, just having a good time. I think that's pretty cool. They just import the boss from the previous game. It's good stuff. But yeah, so Mega Man X5 does a lot. And one of the things that they decided to do in Mega Man X5 was they decided that they were going to make the Mega Man X series a lot more story-based. I guess I'll do 0. And you can't skip the cutscenes, you have to mash through all the text. That's an improvement of Mega Man X6 that I wish was in this game, but sadly it's not. But I'm going to summarize the story. This guy here is Dynamo. He's basically a bounty hunter, and Sigma being pissed the fuck off that he got beaten, like smacked down like 4 times or something by now. Many more if you count the Mega Man X Extreme games for Game Boy Color and the other spin-offs. So yeah, he's pissed, you know, he's mad as hell. So he's like, alright, Dynamo, I'm gonna have to start getting, I'm gonna have to start hiring contract killers to back me up here. And then Dynamo's like, alright, bud, I got you. One thing about extreme difficulty that makes it a little bit more difficult is that there are no health drops at all. Enemies will drop literally nothing. There we go, that's how it's done. The text boxes are a little annoying because it's the intro stage, but they do calm down a bit. So, don't worry about that. It's not like that through the whole game. There we go. If you do that trick, you can outpace the actual screen camera, so it's pretty fun. And then you see the, pseudo-faux Statue of Liberty. Really, I fucking adore this boss fight. And you have Mega Man X that, instead of being there originally, which would have been more interesting, he teleports down and says that he's hurt. It's a little strange. But yeah, Mega Man X, if you start with Mega Man X, you'll keep the armor from the 4th game, which is really cool. And I believe it's literally called the 4th armor. Alternative names are like the Force armor, I think. Yeah, I forgot that this is extreme mode, and like I kind of like got hit by the head, and yeah, I can't do that. So one thing again is Mega Man X5 and X6. They definitely expand upon the gameplay style, and one of the things that they do is they add difficulty settings. Mega Man X4 had difficulty settings in the PC version, the original PC version, released back in the 90s. Of course, now I get bad RNG. But other than that, X5 and X6 were the first games to have the difficulty settings. And like I said, basically, no enemies will drop health or weapon energy or lives. They will drop literally nothing. And other than that, there are more enemies. So that means the screens are flooded with fuckers. Other than that, the bosses are higher leveled, and they have more health, and they deal more damage. So it makes the game a lot harder. Another thing that X5 adds is a bunch of these fucking characters. And unless you read all the dialogue, like, you'll never really understand who they are or why they're there. But they're cool. I like Douglas. He's cool. He's green. That's cool. Cygnus is cool. He's voiced by Alucard in Mega Man X7, so because of that, I find him cool. So you can freely select between X and 0 in this game. Again, if you were to play the intro stage with X, you'd be able to keep the armor from the 4th game. So you'd have 3 selectable characters, and that would be Force Armor X, and then Unarmored X, and then 0. Also, this is like really fucking... God, I love the music in this game. It's incredible. Alright, so it's been a hot minute since I played this game. I need to really rev up. Okay, that's not too bad. I didn't get hit by any of the flamethrowers, so that means I played well enough. If you go fast enough, you won't get hit, so that's kind of the thing. So because this is extreme difficulty, I want to get that heart tank there, just to be safe. Lives aren't actually that big of a deal in Mega Man X5 and 6, because in Mega Man X4, if you do game over, you have to actually go back to the beginning of the stage, or the beginning of the screen, because the stages are divided into 2 screens. But in Mega Man X5 and X6, no matter what, if you game over, you'll just go back to the previous checkpoint. So the lives are literally useless. Like, literally, they're useless. It is bizarre that they did that. I mean, I appreciate it, because it makes the games easier. Like, I don't really like the idea of having to, like, redo the same areas over and over again. I feel like that's artificial difficulty. But I still find it funny that they just kept the lives in the game, just for fun. They also keep the EX tank in the game as well, which, if you don't know, gives you 4 lives when you respawn from a game over. That was in X4 as well, and that's more useful in X4 because if you game over, you have to, like, actually backdate the progress. But in this game, it just makes no sense, but it's there anyway. So little few things like that that are just a little weird. Not every level in this game, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, yeah, not every level has multiple, like, a loading screen in between, so it's not like X4. Here, I can either go across, or I can go under the lava with the ride armor, and this part's really cool. With extreme difficulty, you have to watch out, because the ride armor can be destroyed. It's constantly being damaged because it's in the lava, and then if you get hit too many times by these fuckers, then you'll die. So let's see if that happens or not. I'd prefer if it didn't happen. And then you jump out up there, and then you jump around up here, and then we're at the boss, and that is Matrix's stage. Also known as Burn Dino Rex. One fun thing about this game is that... Oh yeah, I forgot! Holy shit. Holy fuck. I forgot about this. In Legacy Collection, they changed the names back to the originals. Oh my god. Holy shit, okay, okay. But yeah, in the original PS1 version, the localization team for this game, the story, as I've heard, I've never read any direct evidence, but this is what people in live stream chats have told me. So this is, you know, this is hearsay. But in the original PS1 version, of this game, all the bosses, if you look at the split names, those are the original names, because I like those. All of the bosses are actually named after members of the band Guns N' Roses, which I can't stand, personally. I think Axl Rose is fucking grating on the ears, and just being around him in any sort of context makes me just slightly uncomfortable, whether that be in the flesh or via audible format. That being said, I think it's a hilarious Easter egg. So one thing in this stage is the background of the stage makes the stage lag, and this is interesting. And other fun facts are in the PlayStation 2 and GameCube X Collection game, this stage does not lag, because they remove all lag from the games. However, in the Legacy Collections, they retain that for some reason. It also slows down the in-game time. So if you land on top of that platform... Oof. I got hit by the bomb. Well, now I look like a jackass. Because, okay, if you land on top of that platform, Alia will talk to you. But if you dash underneath it, you can skip the text box and save a little time. But I got hit by a bomb, so that kinda... Yeah, I'm supposed to do that first. There we go. I forgot the amount of enemies to play on Extreme mode. Again, it's been a while since I've done Extreme. And now there are spikes. If you play as 0 in the intro stage, like if you play as X, you get something. If you play as 0, you get to keep the Z-Buster. It's garbage. The only reason we actually do play as 0 in the intro stage is because it's faster. So if you were to casually play this game, it might be better for you to just play as X. So here is the first of 2 sub-tanks. Very easy to get. You don't need any special abilities or anything. And we'll get into describing special abilities in a few minutes, probably. After Grizzly Slash, which I don't even know what his name is in this version. So these little floating Sigma viruses are very interesting and intricate to the story. So if you remember in X4, it was showcased that Mega Man X was made by Dr. Light. We already know that. But it was showcased that Zero was actually made by Wily and used to be a Maverick. And because of that, the Sigma virus works and benefits Zero. So if you collect 4 of them, you actually become invincible and get a... I think, do you get a full... I think it's you get a full health refill. Yeah, I think it's because you become invincible and get a full health refill. Whereas if Mega Man X were to get hit by these Sigma viruses, you would start slowly draining health. That was good RNG, actually. This guy usually will stay in the sky, and you can't do the Saber Dash cancel on him. But if he goes down and stays down, then you can just kind of hit him with that, and, you know, kill him relatively easily. So remember Dynamo, that motherfucker who I mentioned? He shows up after the second Maverick is killed. I guess I want to do weapons and life there. He shows up after the second Maverick is killed, and then also after the 6th Maverick is killed. And it's just a mini-boss fight. Really easy just because of the SDC. It's really not a challenge whatsoever. Dynamo! In the Japanese version of this game, they'll do like a little thing where they say like, Dynamo! Like an announcer voice. I'm playing the English version just because. I'll play the Japanese version of X6. And that's Dynamo. So if you're wondering why the weapon swap is going on, I use Joy to Key. Because this is a PC game and anything goes, I use Joy to Key to have multiple slash and dash inputs. And I put them on the weapon swap buttons. So when I do SDC in this game, I constantly swap weapons. It's fun. Alright, so coming up next is Grizzly Slash. Also known as whatever he's known as. Like Crescent Grizzly or something. Yeah, I completely forgot that they downgraded them. It's really bizarre because, like, making those changes, like, it's not like, you know, and especially with X4, you know what I mean? When they took out the fascistic intro segment. Like, it's really strange, like, the way they actually decide to change things. And I'm glad that they didn't take out, like, glitches or anything else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing if they just, you know, port them and it's just one and done. But when they selectively change things, I'm really, really happy that they didn't fuck up the games for speedrunning. Yeah, that part's a little annoying on Extreme. So we have these destroyed vehicles, which I gotta say, this level's really cool. It's like Slash Beast from X4, but way better and way more interesting. One thing that I like about X5, there's the other sub-tank by the way, compared to X4 is that the weapon upgrade system, or just the upgrades in general, armor parts and everything, is so much more robust, and everything is so much better done. Like in X4, for example, in Slash Beast stage, you just have a heart sitting there for like no reason. And that will never not trigger me. I don't know if I have any sub-tank energy. I'm gonna check. If I play this intelligently, then I shouldn't die. We'll see, though. But in X5, you have 2 armor sets that X can get. So that means there's an armor part in every Maverick stage, rather than just 4 of them, which is really cool. And also, everything is, like, really well hidden. And the armor parts actually give you special movement abilities that allow you to, like, go to new areas. And traverse, like, alternate pathways, which is really cool. But this is not a 100% run, so I won't be showing any of those alternate pathways, but maybe another time I will. It's definitely possible. I'm considering doing a Rock X block where I do 100% for every game, but the thing keeping me from that is X7 and X8. Okay, so you want to use weapons and energy here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-enter Crescent Grizzly, not Grizzly Slash, of course. I'm going to re-enter the stage twice, and what that does is it advances the clock. If you've noticed, there's the hours until collision, and when you advance the clock 2 hours after killing a boss, you get their item, and then I'm going to discuss the item parts. Basically, in X5, they added in a bunch of item parts, and that whenever you kill a boss, you get the opportunity to choose life or energy. And that changes what part you get. Duff McWhalen? Yes, this is Duff McWhalen, also known as... I don't even fucking know. Yeah, Duff McWhalen. Really good song here, I have to say. There's actually 2 versions of this song. There's an original. If you play the beta version, I believe, of this game, you get the original music. But then they were like, oh yeah, let's do an Epic X2 remix, and then they did. And it's pretty good. But yeah, so basically, the parts, if you've seen me play X6, you know how this works. But, you know, if you don't, this is like, you know, the early part system, before they made it a lot better in X6. Now I can just, you know, move really fast. Now this is an auto-scroller, but I still do it anyway, just because there's a few areas that aren't auto-scrolling. And the in-game time is really all that matters, so... Ah! I got eaten! Gotta watch out. Health refill. So even though enemies can't drop health, health is still there that would normally be there. I forgot that fucking fish was there. I didn't plot effectively. So you can use the time stop dark hold ability, and it just inverts the colors but doesn't actually stop the auto scroller, so it's pretty cool. SDC makes very, very effective work of these bosses. Very, very effective work. So we've destroyed the submarine, right? Yeah, just kidding. This is easily one of the worst stages in the game. Like, it's okay, it's fun, but especially for speedrunning, it just gets annoying. One thing is when you use the spin slash in this game, it kind of adds a little slowdown, which is not necessarily that bad when you consider the fact that it doesn't really affect in-game time, but it does affect the real time. So I will often opt to use this ability because it does not cause the lag. What's funny is the slow falling through here, and the fact that if you retain your double jump, you can just kind of jump willy-nilly. It's just fun. That's cool. This guy's gonna move up and probably hit me. Oh, no. If you SDC fast enough, then you don't have to worry about the guys on top coming down and hitting you, just because when you SDC, it's an overhand or overhead SDC, so that the saber actually spawns above your head. And if you're doing it very fast, then you constantly have a field of damage going above your head. So here's the non-auto-scroller part. Ugh. Not the greatest. I'm a little rusty, what can I say? Fun fact though, this is actually the first Mega Man X game I learned how to speedrun. Back in August of 2013. Because this is the one I played the most as a kid, someone who I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories with was like, oh, we should play Mega Man. And I was like, oh, the only one I really know is X5. And they're like, me too! So then we did a race. And then after a while, I started getting a lot better at this game. I initially only did 8 Mavericks speedrun races just because I was afraid of the end game, which is really funny now, but, you know, whatever. So we did a bunch of races, and then eventually I was like, you know, I'm going to try X6, because I remember that game being really hard, and I never beat it. And then, now look at me. An X6 professional. And X5's pretty good, too. But yes, this game was my introduction to Mega Man X speedrunning. There's the boss door, but we gotta kill this fucker first. If you're fast enough, you can kill that before that shield pops back up again. I love that freeze frame there, the backwards door entry. Alrighty, so that was Duff McWhalen's stage, also known as whatever the fuck his other name is, who cares? This boss fight's a little weird. His weakness is the Grizzly Slash ability, but you don't want to do that. So instead I'm going to do this. So that stuns him for a an obnoxious amount of time, and that's one thing that X5 does pretty annoyingly, is that when you do shoot someone with their weakness, or not shoot, but, you know, hit them with their weakness, they get an absurd stun time, and it, you know, it's kind of annoying. So I want to choose a weapon and energy there. Alright, coming up next is Axel the Red, which... they really honestly could have gotten away with just calling him Axel Rose. Literally, they probably could have. So now we've got Hyper Dash in a stage that isn't an auto-scroller, so let's see how this works. Those black blocks there are destroyable with the Gaia armor, which is one of the armor sets that I mentioned before. Just doing this here for safety. It's been a while since I played and I don't want to get hit too many times. So Duff McWhalen's ability is this air dash, which basically allows you to go through things. It's pretty cool. Ah, fuck. You gotta go fast here. In extreme mode, a lot more of these little spikes come out of the ceiling. And I don't really remember which ones are which. I'm bad? Oh my fucking god. You have to like hit jump on like a frame perfect basis for a lot of frames. Or I can do that. Okay, that works. I'll just take the bitch motherfucker strategy. That didn't go so well, but that's not important right now. When I kill this motherfucker, I'm going to fight, or I'm actually going to do the stage, like, spawn and then leave immediately, because this guy gives you Saber Plus, which is very useful. Especially in extreme difficulty. Alright. Ugh. Sick time loss. And in extreme difficulty, the faster you can kill the bosses, the safer it's going to be, because the longer the boss fight, chances are you're going to get hit a little bit more. And if you enter the boss fight with, you know, not that much health, then that's going to be a problem. When I mash, I specifically don't mash X, because then you'll accidentally hit life there. It's kind of hard to showcase that, honestly. We have a nice little cutscene where Zero's like, "What's going on here? I'm evil!" And then Cygnus is like, "Geez, we got some shit on our hands." So in one revisit, I'm going to get Duff McWhalen's ability, and then in the second one, I'm going to get Saber Plus. And Duff McWhalen's ability is Energy Saver, which basically gives me a lot more weapon energy. Meaning I can use my sub-weapons a lot more. Whoops. I keep forgetting. You got that extra scroll there. Alright, so now we're souped up. Shining Firefly, also known as Izzy Glow. Really good song here, in my opinion. Whoops. I put the wrong ability on. I meant to do that one. So this part can be a little bit annoying. There's the EX tank up there. Oof. I made the cycle though. And honestly, I think that's all that matters. So those are Reploids. Unlike in X6, they don't do anything. They just give you health. The health is still a random amount. Alright, that was the last enemy before the load screen. And then we get this spiral staircase, except a little bit of a different angle. But it's just as cool. So if you use Dark Hold, then those fireflies won't beam anything down and you can just run straight through. So this is a mini-boss that can be a little bit annoying. This black one is the weakness, so you just have to wait over and over and then kill the black one. And then, of course, dodge the other ones as well. And the reason it's annoying is because if you're in the air, what you do when you hit this motherfucker is you slow the game down, like, tremendously. So the best option, or the best RNG, is when it goes directly to the bottom, which I'm getting pretty lucky with. Just kidding. And one thing is this, the twin thing, soul body but with 0, it does not cause that lag. So, and also one thing I forgot to mention is X4 or X5 adds a crouch. Pretty cool. Whoops. It's not terribly useful, but I mean, it's cool. Long overdue. You want to be in the middle because when you kill that boss fight, 0 run to the middle of the screen. So you want to be in the middle so you don't skip that animation. And because of that ability, you can just stand in the middle and then use that to actually kill the fucker if you need to. Slow camera pan, I love it. Alright. I fucking forgot about that guy. Pretty good, I think. One thing I love about X5 is I feel like the art of the stages is so good, but like it's not flashy, it's just super well detailed. Like X4 kind of has like a super robust flashiness to it, whereas this one's more just, you know, really well detailed. And anyway, I'm going to cut this part after this boss fight, so hopefully you've enjoyed. And tune in tomorrow for the continuation. If you get lucky, this guy will float down, and then you can SDC him, but it's kind of hard to do that without getting hit. It's a little difficult. But it's not out of reach. I'm reaching. I'm no longer reaching. Alright, so I will see you tomorrow.